At the company dinner, CEO Ethan got drunk. In front of everyone. He looked at me in the corner and said, "Wife. Come here. I want to kiss you." "Wife. Why are you staying so far away?" "Wife. You can't kick me off the bed anymore. Don't get too close to other men. I'll get jealous." Ethan acted like a domineering CEO in public but turned into a clingy. Love struck full in private. I wondered if pretending not to know him would still work. All eyes turned to me. Feigning confusion. I pointed at myself. The CEO must be drunk and seeing things. Right? The crowd immediately adopted expressions of realization. Exactly. How could the CEO have such poor taste? I knew it. That was terrifying earlier. She's just an intern. No way she's the CEO's wife. Their collective judgment washed over me. I pretended to blush while mentally cursing Ethan 1,000 times, praying he wouldn't cause more trouble. Thankfully, he seemed genuinely wasted. By the way, Ivy, you're still single, right? The conversation circled back to me unexpectedly. Since Ethan and I had agreed to pretend we're both single. I nodded. The drunken Ethan lifted his head, shooting me a wounded look. I nervously gulped my drink. His ever-present assistant Kevin stood up. "I'll take the CEO home." No one wanted leadership lingering at the party. With unanimous approval, Kevin escorted Ethan out. Suddenly, Olivia, a colleague I rarely spoke to, remarked, "Ivy, that bag costs over $2,800. Are you some rich family's daughter slumming it?" Her malice hung thick. I calmly replied, "It's fake. Don't play modest. I've been eyeing this bag for months." She smirked. "Wait. Didn't you say you're an orphan?" She weaponized my parents' death for petty rivalry. I sighed internally. This was exactly why I'd wanted to keep things low profile. Ethan had insisted this bag looked affordable and practical. I won this in a Twitter giveaway. Is it really that expensive? I feigned innocence. My friends all said it's counterfeit. Another colleague intervened. "Olivia, stop harassing her about accessories." The topic died. As everyone resumed eating, I focused on my plate to avoid further drama. The conversation shifted to Ethan's love life. When did the CEO get a girlfriend? Probably just started dating. Calling someone wife? Are they married? Nah. People call girlfriends wife these days. But he's so clingy. Normally he freezes out any woman within 10 feet. He wasn't just clingy, he was a stage 5 clinger. An excited colleague raised their hand. I know. His girlfriend must be Emily from Wilson Holdings. I've got proof. Wrong. Wait. Who's Emily? I meant to think it, but accidentally muttered aloud. A gossip-savvy colleague glared at my ignorance. Emily. Their families are business partners. Everyone says they're the perfect power couple. How do you know so much? I grew more curious. The colleague who spoke looked proud. My sister works at Wilson Corporation. Ever since she found out my boss is Ethan. She tells me everything. He lowered his voice mysteriously. You'll never guess he's known Emily since childhood. They say Mr. Wilson thinks highly of Ethan. He's basically the chosen son-in-law. Everything clicked. So there's a childhood sweetheart involved. That night when I returned home, Ethan was already asleep. I crouched beside him and demanded, "Ethan, who's Emily?" He immediately pulled me down, murmuring against my neck, "Darling, I couldn't find you earlier. I missed you so much. Why were you ignoring me?" Useless to argue with a drunk. But while his mind was foggy, certain parts remained fully alert. His warm breath tickled my ear as he whispered, "Let me take care of you tonight, sweetheart." And take care he did. I didn't leave bed until morning. Through tears I begged for mercy. But the intoxicated man kept babbling. Fine. I'll buy the ring tomorrow. We'd only been officially dating for a month. I had no intention of making it public. Despite his persistent promises to do things properly and give me the commitment I deserve, his clingy personality made me dread constant PDAs. To avoid public embarrassment, I firmly refused. Next morning, I clutched my aching back, ready to curse him out. But Ethan looked utterly refreshed. What's wrong, darling? Are you upset? Sleep in the guest room this week. I snapped. Come back when you've learned self-control. Truthfully, I never wanted him back, I just needed rest. I started leaving earlier than him daily. What kind of CEO arrives at the office building with a new intern every morning? He'd insisted on driving me before I put my foot down. Arriving at work today, the tense atmosphere confused me. What's going on? I asked Emma, the colleague who defended me last night. She blinked at my confusion. They're assigning business trips. Everyone's trying to avoid getting picked. I relaxed, surely they wouldn't send an intern. But then my manager pointed at me. Ivy, you're going. But sir, I'm just an intern. It's simple contract signing. Details are already negotiated. Coworkers shuffled awkwardly, relieved it wasn't them. The manager smirked. Fail this and say goodbye to your permanent position. His triumph lasted 2 seconds. I wasn't aware we bullied newcomers here. Ethan's voice froze the room. Since you're sending an intern, I'll accompany her. Damn it, Ethan. Your schemes are too obvious. What should have been serious turned into corporate drama. The previously chatty office fell silent. My manager scrambled to apologize, offering to go himself. Ethan turned to me. You're the new intern? Yes. Mr. Smith. I answered meekly. You'll handle the trip as assigned. Collective relief swept the room. Then he added, since I'm attending too, let's see if tasks an intern can manage justify keeping unproductive veterans. His gaze swept the crowd. All full-time staff undergo performance reviews today. Lowest scorer gets terminated. The man delivered this ultimatum with complete seriousness. He left with a serious expression again. The entire company was shrouded in gloom. But the moment work hours ended, Ethan insisted on picking me up a kilometer away from the office. The second I got in the car, he started boasting excitedly. Honey, we're going on a business trip together. Perfect chance to mix work with a little vacation. Isn't this awesome? Ethan had pursued me for 3 months. During the month since I'd agreed to date him, we'd only managed one getaway due to his hectic schedule. His words suddenly made me realize he was manipulating company resources for personal gain. Hold on. I protested. I'm actually going for work. I don't want leisure activities interfering. You shouldn't come anyway, since when does a CEO bring a female intern on business trips? What if people misunderstand? He sweet-talked shamelessly. We'll balance both perfectly. Besides, how could it be a misunderstanding? We're an official couple. Don't worry. I'll make sure nobody gets the wrong idea. I stared at him. Do you even hear yourself? Slip of the tongue. He grinned. I meant I'll prevent any misunderstandings. Since he owned the company, I reluctantly gave in. Being my first business trip, I'd prepared extensively. The accounting manager specifically instructed, book your own flight following standard employee travel policies. No company car, take a taxi and keep receipts for reimbursement. I hesitantly asked, is the CEO really attending too? What about during the trip? Noticing my concern, she tried reassuring me, don't worry. He'll only interact with you during work hours. He'll be in first class with private transfers. If you end up together, keep conversations professional. Everyone gets criticized sometimes, right? That reassurance somehow made me more anxious. Trusting him on a trip? As if travel day arrived. Due to reimbursement limits, I couldn't book the same flight as Ethan. Happily preparing to leave alone, I announced, "I'm heading to the airport first. You go later." He grabbed my wrist. "Not so fast. We need to discuss you locking me out last night. Since when does catching a flight mean I can't share your room?" His solution involved the bedroom. By the time he finished, I could barely move. "I'll miss my flight, you jerk." Ignoring my protests, he finally said, "Submit your original ticket for reimbursement." I bought us seats on the same flight, smugly adding, "You wanted secrecy, isn't this perfect?" His flight departed 3 hours later. No wonder he'd been so unrestrained. He upgraded me to first class beside him. Upon landing in the coastal city Yantai, our driver took us to a beachfront villa. "Aren't we staying at a hotel?" I asked, already resigned to sharing accommodations. He grinned. "This villa's better oceanfront for evening drinks." I glanced at the nearby beach. Barely 5 minutes walk. "You booked this huge place?" "Book?" Ethan wrapped his arm around my waist. "Honey, I bought this vacation home for you. Wherever you want to travel. We'll just buy properties. Rich people and their absurd extravagance." Before I could react, he tossed my documents on the sofa. "Leave that for tomorrow. Let's enjoy the night first." He dragged me to the beach, ordering my favorites: barbecue, beer, lobster tails. "Comfortable?" he asked, clinking his bottle against mine. The cool sea breeze carried salt and the rhythm of waves, the slight buzz making everything hazy. "Very," I admitted, savoring this rare moment. Never imagined Ethan would be here with me. Our worlds felt galaxies apart. "What's on your mind?" He handed me skewers. "Eat before they cool." I grabbed the food. Just remembering military training days. Everyone thought you and Sophia were a thing. Why'd you end up confessing to me? As the person involved, I truly didn't expect Ethan to pull this stunt. He froze at my question, then outright accused me, "How dare you bring that up?" When I confessed my feelings, you cursed me out like I was some truth or dare prankster. All right. This man's pride was notoriously fragile. Time to smooth things over. Setting down my things, I scrambled over and tackled him onto the couch. "I'm here to apologize," I murmured before kissing him. My rare initiative worked like a charm. His ears turned bright red instantly. Who knew such a clingy guy could be this bashful? Between kisses, he managed to plead, "Sweetheart, you should take charge more often. You're breathtaking like this." The next day at our partner company's office, my blood ran cold. There stood Sophia, our university's former prom queen, beaming at Ethan. "Long time no see. Ethan," she cooed. "Finally got you to agree to a reunion dinner. You'll indulge me, won't you?" Her gaze slid to me. "Your assistant can clock out early. Ethan's got plans tonight." I recognized that stormy look in Ethan's eyes. Jumping in before he could speak, I chirped, "Of course. Ms. Taylor. I'll drop Mr. Smith at the hotel to wait for you." He shot me a disapproving glare but knew I wanted to avoid public scrutiny. Smiling placatingly, I added, "Sir, don't forget your 3 p.m. client meeting." "My apologies, Ms. Taylor." Sophia, likely forgetting I'd ever existed, zeroed in on Ethan. "Still giving me the cold shoulder? Was faking a relationship the only way to get you here? Since you're not project lead, have your manager contact me. I don't waste time." Ethan's rejection landed like an ice bucket challenge. "Come on, Ethan. I've prepared extensively." I stood there desperately wishing the floor would swallow me whole. "Just want to catch up between old classmates." Ethan's next words froze her smile. Apologies. I'm taken. My girlfriend's the jealous type. Still using that tired excuse? Sophia scoffed. Some things never change. Who said I'm lying? Ethan suddenly turned to me. Kevin. Tell Ms. Taylor about my girlfriend. Biting back a sigh. I confirmed. Mr. Smith does have a partner. Ms. Taylor. Impossible. She blurted. His mother never mentioned. You've been contacting my mother? Ethan's laugh chilled. Guess how often we speak. The disastrous meeting ended there. But dinner proceeded with the whole project team. Sophia switched tactics. Playing the consummate professional. Had I not witnessed her earlier act, I'd think they were strangers. Rumor says you two were campus royalty. A colleague ventured during cocktails. Ever cross paths back then? We moved in different circles. Ethan said diplomatically. Ms. Taylor was quite visible. Murmurs rippled through the group. Everyone had expected the prom queen and quarterback to date. Yet 4 years passed without a spark. Here's to smooth collaboration. Someone toasted. My anxiety spiked as Ethan's drinks piled up. The man turned into a playful menace when tipsy, and I was his favorite target. I quickly stood up to block the drink for him. I'll take this one for Mr. Ethan. His stomach isn't in great shape, any more alcohol might cause serious pain. Sophia from across the table sneered. What? Is Mr. Smith sending some junior assistant to brush me off? How disrespectful. Ethan suddenly stopped my hand. Ivy. Sit down. I'll handle this myself. After another round of drinks, I excused myself to the restroom. The moment I stepped out, Sophia was waiting by the door. Ms. Taylor. Can I help you? Don't think I don't recognize you. We were in the same major. Weren't we? I remember you. Never imagined you'd become Ethan's assistant. When I stayed silent, she continued. However you weaseled into this position. Know your place. She leaned closer. Malice dripping from her whisper. You know why I remember you? That pathetic scholarship you clung to every year. Don't think I haven't noticed how you look at him. A charity case like you. Daring to aim above your station? Watch too many Cinderella dramas? Ms. Taylor. I replied calmly. It's 2023. Let's skip the petty jealousy act. Yes. I needed financial aid. But did you conveniently forget I also earned academic scholarships every year? Meeting her glare, I added. I earned my position through merit. If you want Ethan, go after him yourself. These warnings are pointless. You, the heiress flushed. Momentarily speechless. Excuse me. Ethan will wonder where I am. I moved to leave, but she grabbed my arm. Tell me who his girlfriend is. Ask him yourself. Could it be you? Before I could react, she scoffed and released me. Ethan has better taste. Returning, I found Ethan thoroughly drunk. Wrap this up. Take me back to the hotel. He slurred. The chauffeur was waiting. The car door barely closed before he pulled me into a kiss, completely ignoring the driver. Stop acting crazy. I pushed him away. Cheeks burning. He pouted dramatically. Why won't you claim me? Ashamed of me? This again. Every time colleagues asked if I was single, my yes crushed him. He'd mutter, what if someone steals you away? Yet everyone else in his world likely thought I wasn't good enough. It took an hour of coaxing before he finally slept. Half conscious, he kissed my forehead. Sleep in. I'll handle the morning meeting. Blissfully, I burrowed back under the covers. But when I woke, the world had shifted. News headlines screamed. Hashtag Smith Group heir to marry Taylor family heiress. Hashtag college sweethearts reunited, CEO Ethan engaged to former classmate hashtag. Speculative pieces asked, will this be the wedding of the decade? Before I could call Ethan, his message arrived, don't believe the news. Baby. I'll fix this. I stared at the accompanying photo, Ethan standing beside a beaming Sophia, her gaze dripping with admiration. They did look picture perfect. I trust you. I texted back. He replied instantly. Defensive, the photo was after signing the contract. She insisted on a commemorative shot. Meant nothing. Really? I'm fine. His skepticism bled through. Promise? Cross my heart. You were too busy crying in my arms last night about me hiding our relationship to cheat. He was stunned by my words. Wait. I definitely won't cry. You can't trick me with this opportunity. I chuckled at his reaction. I recorded a video. You can check it yourself when you return. Though I hadn't actually cried. My pitiful sniffling expression had been captured in all its glory. All right. I truly believe you. Go handle your business now. I knew wealthy people like Ethan had specialized departments for managing public relations crises. After resolving this, I'll take you for seafood. I agreed without hesitation. Truthfully, I trusted him completely about the photo incident. It was just one group picture taken at proper social distance, exactly what I'd expect from Ethan's character. I turned on the projector, determined to lose myself in a movie. Though I'd seen this film before, I couldn't focus on the plot now. Pretending not to worry was futile. But without trust, our relationship would be meaningless anyway. My reluctance to make things public stemmed from self-preservation in this imbalanced romance. When the credits rolled, the situation had shifted again. Ethan had rushed back with armfuls of takeout, looking suspiciously like he was trying to bribe me. You're not angry? He asked cautiously. Why would I be? I grabbed the food, hunger overriding my comprehension. Did you hide something from me? His eyes darted away. Haven't you seen the news? I checked my dead phone. The clarification had turned into a full-blown official announcement with multiple close-up photos of us. My silent movie marathon had caused me to miss dozens of calls. Don't be mad, he said hurriedly. I spent an hour selecting these perfect announcement photos. Official relationship posts require meticulous, so his crisis management had been curating our couple photos. The aftermath arrived instantly. Friends bombarded me with messages. Our company group chat exploded. While strangers speculated online, all my coworkers immediately recognized me. As colleague Emma put it, business trips are normal. But the CEO dating an employee? That's reality rewriting stuff. Emma's texts kept coming. Ivy. You should see Olivia. She's been crying in the bathroom since the announcement. Claims it's from spicy noodles. But we all know she binge watches too many CEO romance dramas. I sighed, replying, we didn't mean to hide it. Ethan and I were just cautious about complicating his position. No one's working today. Emma continued. Every woman here idolizes you now. They're asking what shrine to worship at for a billionaire boyfriend. The real shock came when distant relatives crawled out of the woodwork. Messages flooded in before I'd even left Yantai. Auntie hasn't heard from you in years. How are you? Cousin. Is it true you're dating a tycoon? My jaw tightened. These were the same people who'd refused to loan me funeral expenses when my parents died. The village mayor had saved me from dropping out of school. None of these family members had cared then. Some dared send guilt trips. Now that you're rich, you've forgotten your roots? Your announcement caused quite the ripple effect. I said dryly, handing Ethan my phone. This is exactly why I hesitated to go public. Borrow money? His voice turned icy. Let them try asking me directly. This is one reason I admire Ethan. He never cared about my family background. And even after this incident, he only worried about my safety. Don't worry. They haven't contacted me in years. And I won't respond now. I'm handling this fine. I reassured him. I thought ignoring it would suffice. But new conflicts emerged as my social status shifted. The moment I returned from my business trip, personal details about my family flooded the internet. Miss Clark, is it true your mother was trafficked? People had hesitated to confront me publicly after Ethan announced our relationship. But now that rumors spread about him abandoning me, their courage grew. My mother has intellectual disabilities. She wasn't trafficked. Who'd believe that? Olivia sneered. What man would marry a mentally impaired woman? I always thought his public declarations seemed fishy. How did someone like you trick a CEO? Or are you exceptional in other ways? I replied coldly. So you all think I deceived Ethan? Does that mean our CEO lacks basic judgment? Rich people don't encounter schemers like you often. She retorted triumphantly. Ethan should have chosen Sophia from the Taylor family. They'd make a better match. I raised an eyebrow. Not you? How generous of you to forfeit your chance. Her face flushed. What nonsense. I'd never. She fled before finishing her sentence. As whispers replaced open confrontation, I addressed the crowd, since everyone's so invested. I'll clarify matters. These online rumors are baseless. While my mother indeed had cognitive challenges, she wasn't trafficked. My father cherished her deeply. I won't tolerate further slander about my family. Olivia shouted from the back. Freedom of speech. Freedom still requires legality. I countered before filing a police report. Officers compelled Olivia to issue a public apology and pay compensation. My online statement included scanned letters from my parents' belongings. Though quiet in life, my father's passionate love letters revealed his poetic soul, a trait I apparently inherited. I shared excerpts detailing their story, childhood sweethearts who married young. Their lives upended when a car accident left my mother with the mind of a 10-year-old. Doctors discovered she'd been pregnant during the crash. I believe my existence in her womb protected her. Dad later told me. Though childlike, Mom expressed love in her ways. Like offering me candy. Dad raised us both. Essentially parenting two children. My post concluded. After their deaths, I climbed onto the roof using Dad's ladder. I watched sunrises and sunsets like they used to. Saw chimney smoke rise and tides ebb. Now I can't bear to enter that old house again. Since when did disabilities become insults? The statement went viral without Ethan's intervention. Then came the summons from Mrs. Smith. Ethan warned me during the car ride. My mother's difficult. Her marriage was arranged. Loveless yet rigidly proper. She expects me to follow tradition. His grip tightened on the steering wheel as we approached the family estate. The reason was simply because it was a wealthy family. I sat across from Ethan's mother. Hello, Aunt Yuan. Aunt Yuan truly couldn't muster a smile for me. But I kept my composure since she didn't smile at her own son either. What exactly don't you like about Emily? Hearing this name again, my curiosity stirred. Before I could glance at Ethan, he declared, she's ugly. Aunt Yuan challenged, Emily modeled for magazines. Where's the ugliness? I dislike her face. That makes her ugly to me. Ethan sat beside me, persistently holding my hand. When I tried to discreetly withdraw it, he audaciously gripped my thigh instead. I promptly returned my hand to his. What about Sophia? Aunt Yuan pressed on. I've met her, good family background. Excellent qualifications. And utterly devoted to you since college. Don't tell me she's ugly too? Her family lacks discernment. Ethan remained unflustered. Their mole will fold within 3 years. I refuse to bail out their poor financial decisions with my money. You. Aunt Yuan sputtered. If anything, their poor judgment shows in wanting you. Ethan nodded, fair point. Let's spare them the trouble. Though I should thank Ivy for her questionable taste too. This man specialized in infuriating people. Dinner dragged on with Ethan lavishing absurd praises until I might as well have been a demigod. They say attending the same university as Ethan meant you underperformed? I knew he meant to soften the blow. But stated plainly, my father died in high school. Left alone. I nearly quit school. Taking time off to work. It affected my exams. Yet luck favored me. Despite hardships and academic interruptions, I tested well enough for Ethan's university, hardly a failure. Are you serious about Ethan? Meeting his mother's gaze. I answered after consideration. I doubted it myself initially. Now I'm certain. Surprisingly, Mrs. Smith ceased objections. Her words lingered. I can't support this. So I'll look away. Ultimately, your life and marriage are yours, just don't regret it, or complain to me if you do. This granted Ethan his choice. Seizing the moment, I asked him, why me? His answer stunned me. I expected to follow my mother's blueprint, study, inherit the family business, live predictably. Then I saw you and everything clicked. Love at first sight? How cliché! Yet his sincerity shone through. You might not believe it, but to me, you outshine everyone. When people raved about Sophia, I wondered, you're clearly more captivating. You make me nervous. Many had called me pretty, though my circumstances supposedly diminished it, claiming no ulterior motive would be dishonest. Somehow, being near you clarifies my mind and smooths my path. I suspected sweet talk, especially when he called me his lucky charm. Yet his earnest expression held. Pressing further, he deflected, you rejected me before, that stung. I retaliated by kicking him out of our room. After 2 days of sulking, he confessed what puzzled me most, why pursue me after initial rejection? With theatrical secrecy, he revealed, remember our temple visit after you accepted me? I recalled, he'd insisted the matchmaking temple was magical. What did you pray for? I'd followed the crowd wishing for wealth. I went to fulfill a vow. Ethan grinned. I'd begged the matchmaking tree here to make you mine. Remember the red ribbons? I hung one for us. Clever. Did you check if it's still there? I wondered what he'd written. No need, I hung 100. Only a ridiculously wealthy man would ensure luck through such excess. Nouveau riche indeed, tacky yet undeniably loaded. When I took you to fulfill the vow, I also prayed for our lasting commitment. I'm willing to keep making offerings for this. Ethan added to my surprise. You can't leave me. You're the gift heaven sent to me. After discovering that Ethan was a hopeless romantic and an extremely clingy person, he became even more upfront about his affections. Once our relationship went public, Ethan completely transformed into a human barnacle, wanting to stick to me 24/7. Even at the office, he'd find every excuse to stay by my side. The man switched between boardroom tycoon and needy puppy modes with whiplash-inducing contrast. Yet he paradoxically gave me tremendous freedom, never questioning when I met friends. Though he always insisted on picking me up afterward, citing safety concerns. Honestly, handling such a man simply required responding naturally to his affection. I started initiating hugs when he leaned in, even throwing myself into his arms. He ate it up. So much so that he wanted to parade me at every event, even those completely outside my comfort zone. Though his social circles operated on entirely different wavelengths, he never treated me as inferior. While he charmed his associates with industry jargon, I held my own without awkwardness. To him, this was about welcoming me into his world. To me, it was about closing the distance between us. Our biggest premarital challenge surprisingly came at a golf course. Don't let the small ball fool you that thing's brutally unforgiving. At the driving range, I kept swinging at air until finally sending a practice ball ricocheting off the ceiling with a loud bang. Snickers erupted around me. That's Mr. Smith's girlfriend? What kind of swing is that? Embarrassing. The stage whispered insults carried clearly across the green. I tuned them out, focusing on my grip. Later, Ethan joined me after closing a restaurant deal. Suddenly my practice bay became crowded. My instructor muttered, "Miss, please don't tell anyone I taught you." I laughed. "But everyone's already mocking you. Earlier I could hit the roof. Now I'm barely making contact. At this rate, you should refund my lessons." I'd been lured by Ethan's effortless swings, forgetting my complete lack of athletic talent. A snide voice piped up. "Aren't you ashamed? You've gone through a whole bucket. If people see this, think how you'll embarrass Mr. Smith, the future Mrs. Smith? More like bargain bin material." Ethan's voice cut through. "Why would my wife embarrass me?" He strode over and took my hand. "Your palms must be sore from all these swings." They actually were. Improper grip left them stinging. When I nodded, he continued, "Let's get the famous beef noodles here." Then he turned to my critic. "I'll buy 10 buckets of balls. Show us your perfect swing." The girl stammered, "Mr. Smith, I was just joking." Ethan remained steely. "You're lucky my wife's gracious. I prefer leveraging power. Isn't your father currently in the clubhouse?" While Ethan rarely flexed his influence like this, he missed the truth. I'd been planning retribution myself. Mercy wasn't my style when people crossed lines. Just as I'd been about to act, Ethan swooped in. The incident should have ended there. But my romantic fool couldn't resist gushing. "How dare you insult my wife? She outshines you in every way: beauty, grace, figure." His tirade continued, listing my supposed virtues against her flaws. Everyone around us was stunned, completely held captive as Ethan went on and on praising me. I couldn't stop him no matter how hard I tried. Finally, in desperation, I blurted out, "Honey," before throwing myself at him with a kiss. Dignity be damned, shutting him up was the only solution. From that day on, internet legend had it, the CEO of Smith Family Group is both a whipped husband and obsessed with showing off his wife. Marrying Ethan was simply following life's natural progression. His 3 years of unwavering devotion left me no room for regrets. But gradually I realized his initial claim of "you're my lucky charm" held truth. Smith family's business flourished spectacularly after our relationship began, conquering numerous challenging projects. Ethan became my shadow outside work hours until his proposal came. "I can't stand leaving you unprotected in this world. Marry me?" Most unorthodox proposal. Yet his nervous sincerity shone through. I countered, "Who exactly needs protecting? Have you seen your fan club out there?" He flipped the script. "That's your fault. Every day unmarried gives them false hope. Become Mrs. Smith and they'll back off." We both knew this was nonsense. But my time had come. Leaning close, I whispered, "Your birthday's approaching. Want your present now?" Eyes lighting up, he asked, "Is that a yes?" My smile answered as I pointed to my stomach. His reaction surprised me. Instead of pure joy, a flicker of disappointment surfaced. I'd hoped for proper newlywed time. Catching himself, he hastily added, "Of course I'll love our child. We'll just need to rethink our honeymoon destination." What more could I ask from such a man? He never knew I later visited that temple alone, praying for our lasting love and safety.